Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure and you're watching Transport Fever on the Metropolis map, Mesopotamia, I believe it's actually named after. We're just watching some stuff, leaving a good station. You like the swoop in thing there? Either you did or you didn't. Anyway, in today's episode, not entirely sure, I've got a couple of plans and one of them will throw itself at me before too long. However, I did promise at the end of the last episode to bring you up to speed on the numbers. So let's start with the numbers. Now here's the cash, obviously. We spent 30 million on new vehicles last year and ended up 3 million down. So there you go. Mathematicians amongst you will quickly work out. That means I made about 27 million, probably just short of 27 million in profit. That's lovely. Oh look, where are you going? You're a stone train, I think. No, you're not. You're going to Brussels. Go on, it's Brussels, isn't it? Yeah, look, it's Brussels. We're in May at the moment. What have I spent so far? About $250,000, and we're up 6 million so far. So that's all good too, because all of this means that I've got plenty of cash with which to do exciting things, or as exciting as things ever tend to get. Let's have a quick look at the line situation. So if we look at the worst offenders, now the ELPS, El Paso Bulk Freight, is the worst offender at the moment, or was up until 3 seconds ago, and that's because it's been spending the last, I don't know how long, trundling around the map trying to get back on station. Looks to me like it's either I think it probably did just drop off. So that's okay. We can certainly live with that. Detroit to Wolves high altitude is burning cash at quite the rate there, so we'll plunk that up there. And I think it's mostly going to be because of the age of the train. Similarly, Detroit Krakow is quite ancient, so we'll pull that up as well. And then Wolverhampton Shanghai is right on the cusp. But to be honest, with only one train on there and a 32 passenger capacity, how we can expect that to make much cash anyway is rather beyond me. The Widdershins is also 32 years old and is making nobody wants to ride on it at all. Well, that's very sad. The rest of it is the usual mix of bits and pieces that cost me cash from time to time, but this will do the okie dokie to sort things into different orders. When we look at the winners, however, Detroit's bulk freight. Because it's carrying in both directions, so it's taking freight out one way. Look at this. While it's bringing a whole slew of stone back the opposite direction. That's making close to 6 million a year. The hub's big food processing train is doing close to 5 million. So I'm easily carrying the lackluster services with my high profit beasts. That's the way we like to go. Because I'm quite happy to run unprofitable services as long as money is being made somewhere. Let's have a look at the towns and see what sort of sizes we're playing with now. And it's El Paso that is a number one top dog, Mr. Big, and with 1,500, followed by Brussels. Brussels, interesting. Brussels has come out of nowhere since we last checked these numbers. But now we've got over half the towns are over 1,000 population. It would be nice to drive them a little bit harder and faster there, and that's going to take a greater variety of goods. With that seamless segue, we shall now get to today's plan. Let's have a quick look at what we're actually running on here. There we go, zoom in. 49 of 80 passengers on board, doing a nerve-jangling 40 miles per hour at the current time. Oh, I did say I'd switch to kilometres today, didn't I? I'll do it for the next one. I'll remember and everything. But yes, with that number of passengers, it should have a fighting chance at making some money. But given the age of this train, as you can see, for the last 15 years almost, it's been losing money every year. So that needs replacing. And then Detroit Krakow. Let's go and have a look at one of these. So this is another full service that we've got here. And again, it was profitable right up until the point that it stopped being profitable. So I think we'll start today by bringing these chaps in and putting some new technology on in their place. Why don't you stick around and we'll see that happen together. Now, before we crack on, here's the latest feature that we've introduced to the series, whereby you can show me exactly what I'm doing wrong by submitting your design on a napkin. Ninja Pumpkin has sent one in with no real explanation as to what it represents, but it sure does look mighty complicated, and I'll add that to my selection of potential battle plans for the future. If you want to get in on the action, just tweet me a picture of a track plan on a napkin, ideally a replacement for a track plan where I've done it badly, and I'll feature it in an upcoming broadcast. There you go, how about that? Now then, right, once this chap's dropped off, we'll send everybody back to the depot. I'm not going to use the straightforward replacement system, because where's the fun in that? Well, the answer is that the fun is in making all the monies. Anyway, there's quite a busy bit of station going on here. You didn't drop off anyone, and you're not picking anybody up. It's barely any wonder that you've made me no money in your recent history. Right, let's flog both of those. There you go, you're off, and then these two as well. Work your way back to the depot there, Tiger, and fetch me a healthy price. Right, now then, this means, of course, that I'm going to have to leave these two parked up here. I think that's no, you know what? I don't have to wait for them to come in. That's a mistake I make on a regular basis. Let's get, where are we? Indianapolis. Right, okay, let's zip down here, and we'll set up the replacements immediately. Because for some reason I've got it into my head, oh no, you've got to wait for the existing one to come in. Nonsense. You don't have to wait for anything. You're in charge of your own destiny. There we go. Right, now then, let's ping this on. We're still in the age of steam right now. I think we've probably got a couple available. Yeah, so we've got some electrics available, and we'll run them at some point as a diesel, look, and I think that one maybe hasn't got the time set correctly. And then we've got the M300. Now, the M300, actually, I've experimented with putting that on my commuter line, and it pays off really well. Plus, you can have like 15 of them on there, and it still pays off really well. But we're not doing that yet. Right then, okay, now, Detroit Krakow, that can be either European or, in fact, both of these Detroit trains. I wonder if I should be concerned about this. I'm not going to be concerned about this. We want something that is pretty quick. What about you, superheated mogul? 70 miles per hour. That's pretty quick. Although you're not that attractive. Not when compared to, look, you know, a Mikado. I mean, that's a far superior looking beast. We got this KKSTB Austrian number, and I don't think I've run anything Austrian in a little while. So maybe that's my champion. Or we got this Russian that only does 40. Would very much be a luxury item. Now, I stuck a couple of those out last time round, so we're not going to use those again. We've got the Mikado, that does 50. The Pacific does 90. I know I've done the Pacific a fair bit already. What about you? 40. And the reason that I am totally fixated on speed here is because passenger trains, speed is the essence. I mean, as much as speed dictates your earnings no matter what you're running, passengers doubly so. Look, Great Western. That might do the trick. It's going to Wolves. We're going to run this Great Western up there, or this Great Western up there. What's the difference between the AG variant with aging? With aging. Oh, fun. No aging. With aging, please. What's our alternatives? You'll do 60. You'll do 80. Running cost 465. Running cost 554. This one not quite as grunty, but we'll run with that. That looks like fun. Obviously, we'll have aging on, because chances are I'll run this thing until the end of time. Right, passenger. Let's find something that the Great Western fans out there aren't going to object to too greatly. Let's go with some top-line coaches, because they're top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 64. One more. One more. Come on. Don't I'm an R about it. You doing it or not? How much you get in a brake van? That takes us to 72. 72 is a good number. Yeah, let's do it. Right, do that, and then clone it, please. Where are you? Here you go. Clone this. Clonage, and then all of you lot, you're going Detroit to Wolves High Altitude. D begins with a D, because it's Detroit. Detroit to Wolverhampton, and Detroit to Wolverhampton High Altitude. I wonder if that's why it wasn't making any money. Anyway, we've put a fast train on there now, so that should wake them up. That'll get them going. Right, can close that off. Shall we suspend what we're doing right now to watch this? Yeah, of course we will. Here we go. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Very nice. Okay, grand. Right, that's you catered for. For my next trick, we shall do something similar that will take us to Krakow. Now I can go American or I can go European. Now I don't have. I was kind of hoping that I'd have an Austrian something to do the heavy lifting on this one, but I don't appear to have one that is swift enough. Although, you know, I mean, that Krakow line is pretty well stuffed. I mean, 53 isn't slow per se, but it's not quick neither. So I think we're going to go with the superheated 8-wheeler, you know. Or do we go with the superheated mogul for $500,000 a year versus 425? Okay. Actually, what have we got? What have we got passenger cabin wise? It's going to be the heavyweight, isn't it? Which does 80. They're not cheap at all. But I think these are going to be the ones to go for. You're in the right area, so I think they'll do 80. Heavy 8-wheeler, 3.2. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. There'll be some fresh-faced, young-looking, enthusiastic, optimistic new trains along before too long. Yeah, 70 is fine because I haven't upgraded the track yet anyway, so that'll be fine too. Right, one of those, please, and then some passenger parlour cabin type deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 100 capacity. Let's not muck about. Double that up. Set you Detroit Krakow. Marvellous. And then once that's rolling, we can go and focus on today's major operation. As much as, you know, we've spent 15 minutes here just kind of larking around and buying new trains and what have you. There you go. It doesn't look like it's up to the task, does it? But it is. I mean, it's definitely going to whiz them along at a goodly rate. Let's look at this. This is why we have the slow bit. The slow bit's rather splendid. Light slow bit. What are you? You are the Sioux Falls to Brussels. 100 passengers on board. Tasty. Alright, well that's just grand. Okay, right, now then, that's everybody running. I wonder if I should potentially change the livery on here. I know, embrace yourselves, anything could happen. Here we go, now then. What do we think of this? We think that looks terrible. Okay, let's not do that then. I'm quite fond of the muted turquoise though. I think that works quite nicely. It depends if the loco's going to play ball or not. Well, it has. You know what? Muted turquoise. I use it too often, but I don't care. There it is. It's off. It's running. It's happy. It's charming. It's doing stuff. Right now then. Today, with 6 million left in the bank, because that was very expensive. I am torn between two potential ideas here. Idea number one is we bring another service in to pick up some goods and take them elsewhere. So Barcelona is going, I would like some things, as is Dortmund or Grand Junction might be the one. I haven't done Grand Junction yet, have I? No, I haven't. I'm going to do Grand Junction. There you go. That's that easy decision made. The option B there was just as straightforward, which was start to develop a new goods type, but we're not there, so we're not doing that. Now then, let's have a look at. I've got this bit of infrastructure here, where you are just zipping up and down this line. Now, you've got a branch here where you can get further afield if you want to, which means, where does that come through? It comes through Brussels. So that means that potentially, here's the goods line that comes into Detroit. one wonders. So what I'm thinking is whether there is an easy, bit of tunnel, bit of flipping it around onto a line over here somewhere. Although obviously that's going to create chaos, but I love a bit of chaos, me. And then get to Grand Junction over here somewhere to continue our goods endeavour. Or, as another option, we could head up the main line here. So the what are we looking at there? West Coast, I suppose you'd call it. The Western Hemisphere main line, and then branch off and come in over here maybe, or branch up here and put the station there and then truck it across a bridge that is as yet unmade. I don't really like that one. Do we have any goods facilities nearby? We've got this lumber mill here. Now, shifting more lumber is not a bad idea because it will allow me to make a bit more cash. So the question is, how do I get down onto there? I like this bridge. So if I did a spur off the bridge there onto the goods line, that is complicated, but it's going to happen. Right, okay, so first job is, well, actually, hold your horses. First job might be to double up the size of this station. Upgrade 2 tracks. Will you do that without complaint? You will do that without complaint. Well, that's very decent of you. All right, grand. Right, let's spend the money and make that happen immediately. Now, I didn't actually need to do that. I could have just put a parallel track in there and everything would have been dandy, but instead I've decided to spend £250,000. Now then, let's get in here. That's quite an aggressive bit of junction there. Right, let's do that. Get rid of that bit. Whiz this in here. That appears to be ballast. Ballast isn't really going to help me out there. Let's, what do we need this? Let's make this an 80 kilometre per hour limit on this one. Catenary, no thank you very much, but cheers for offering anyway. And then we'll put that on there. Okay, right, now then, we still need this to get over to the other side, which it'll do, because it likes me and it doesn't want me to start whaling this early on. Construction, I'm sure, is possible. Although it might not be if I've got different grades of track speed going on there. Also, this unnecessary bit of... I'm going to regret this. Can you just this little tiny bit hit? No, I guess not. You know what? Let's re-engineer the whole thing. Not excessively so, obviously, but enough so that it'll play ball. Right. So if we whiz you along here, quite why there is a remaindered bit of track there. Let's get rid of that. This will make sense, I assure you. There will be plenty of sense made out of what exactly it is I think I'm playing at here, and we'll do that momentarily. Standard tracks. What's the old default there? It doesn't seem to care one way or the other. Let's give it maximum possible speed. Okay, let's do that. All right. Well, no. Come on, you've got to play with. You've got to work with me here. Come on, from about there. No, you're not interested. All right, hold on. Let's try a different angle. Let's try a slightly different approach here. How do you think about that? Or even what do you think about that? How do you think about that, I suppose, is valid. Now then, I'm going to work on the assumption, the incorrect assumption, that for the time being, I'm only going to be hurling one vehicle up here at a time. That's obviously incorrect because later on I will undoubtedly be doing more. But for the moment, that will suffice. Now this is totally extra to this particular build. We don't even need it, but I'm getting it in place anyway, so that we have that as a future opportunity. And then we will roll off. Once we come off the bridge, we shall peel off this way without peeling off too much speed in the process, and we'll merge back onto whatever line that is there. Now, presumably that's a goods train. I don't even need to get any closer than that. It's a goods train. Right, now I need to be able to swing in the right side, 50's okay, I'll live with 50. The right side of this depot, that looks all right. There you go, and then head on down here at a leisurely jaunt, and then merge on when the mood strikes. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, right, smashing. Well, there we go. Happy trails. Let's get rid of this signal, and then do we need? I mean, if I slip junction that, it will certainly serve the purpose, but I think in this case what we'll do is we'll do a bit of this instead. There you go, have some of that. Because part of me says that, you know, that may be, you know, it's Grand Junction, which is lovely, but later on, Rill is also up that way. Dortmund is up that way as well, and we might benefit from flinging an additional train or two up here. So prepping for that is probably a good idea. Whether or not it's a good idea well executed is neither here nor there. Now then, can we get a spur off here that goes over to there? Yes, we can. It's almost like... And that's the exact look of what we came in with. Although now it's going to... No, too much slope. Hogwash. There we go. Perfect. Nailed it. Absolutely splendid. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm patting myself on the back quite significantly here for what is effectively double tracking. Well done, you absolute ruddy genius. Right, good. Now, stone delivery, you can leave you alone. I can leave that alone, and then let's pump it up, homeboy, which is a thing, apparently. And we shall aim to get our new goods station in around here, I think. We'll go with a terminus kind of approach, with an extra street connection that can go onto there, and that should help me distribute to the masses my many various and high quality goods items. Now then, we don't need... should we though? We possibly should, but we're not going to just yet, because that will leave us an adventure for another time. And I'm all about having adventures on as many occasions as possible. Let's just come through there. Now, I don't particularly want to just zing across the line here. It really depends on what the lay of the land is and how lumpy that bit of track has become. Not excessively lumpy. All right, fine. We'll go with that. Now then, let's get ourselves stationed up here. Good station. Because I haven't made a mistake of putting in an inappropriate station in quite some time. Now then, what do we got? What I'm looking for here, I don't think I'm going to find. Having a bendy station would be good, but I don't think it's offering me the opportunity to make it a terminal rather than a regular station. So I'm going to have to use the regular freight terminal station. Oh, we do have curvature on the... So how easily we forget that the full gamut of options are now available to us. Turn electrification off. Put the second street connection on. Right, so if I... Actually, second street connection serves me absolutely no purpose. So plan A, as described moments ago, is now off. What about that one? I'll do it. I think that will line up quite pleasantly. And then we put a truck stop next to there and do the usual trucks flinging goods merrily around the town. There we go. Right, now then, get across the road. Well, you say get across the road, but what you mean by that is bulldoze the road, build whatever the heck you like, and then force the cars into doing some kind of unnecessary manoeuvring. Now, in a conversation on the Patreon Discord in the past couple of weeks, I saw a comment that was to the extent of anyone who uses tunnels to get under track in Transport Fever are weak, and therefore it's either bridging or go straight across it is the move of the strong. Well, I mean, you know, that's a slightly contentious way to put it, I suppose, but I happen to agree. Unless you can make your tunnel look particularly good. there we go. I'm even, that's a level crossing there, and these barriers have got no chance of blocking absolutely everything, so this is going to be news at 10 waiting to happen. And pretty sure there's a road there somewhere. It is only 1930 after all. You'd think there would be a little bit more advancement than that, given the number of cars and the sportiness thereof. I mean, look at this, it's two-tone. In fact, I can't rule out it's two cars. Nope, it's not two-tone, it's two cars. There you go, details. Right, now then, Grand Junction, sidings, I don't think that's anywhere near salubrious enough. Import. Ooh, could be anything. Right, now then, let's have a quick look at the lay of the town here. So we're delivering in a particularly impoverished industrial area with a little bit of housing thrown in, and maybe a little bit of, we got a bit of commercial coverage as well, which is smashing. What we want to do, however, is we want to hit up that lot and that lot. These blues would certainly love it very much, but I don't think we're going to get out there. So I think having a delivery area over here, and I'm not saying anything yet. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ooh, I've clearly picked up some new stuff. 2-bay drive-through cargo station with loading bays. Show me what this looks like. Oh, it's actually not terribly exciting. That's a shame. However, a bit of a nod towards security. Good. Side street type. Old City. Oh my goodness me. Well, there you go. It's this streets galore. Streets of rage. I'm going to use this, or am I? Why wouldn't I? Just use it. If I can get it in there. Looks like it will fit. I might have to flip it around the other way. I think this factory's going to go, but I was hoping to sell that some things. Okay, well maybe that's not going to work. The aircraft you can possibly hear in the background there is local. It's not in the game. Now then, the window's open. It's a nice warm day. No, I think we're going to have to go bluff old traditional with this. Sorry, although we do have the... holy cow, that's huge. Now, that's a little too modern, if you ask me. Am I that bothered? I am, actually. I'm not going to put that in. It's too something or other. Although we can use this one. Although, again, it's got a through road. No. Although, hold on, hold everything, hold everything. If we stick it in like that, give me the, what are you there? You've got, that's that. What's this? You could just put it in like that, all right, and have them drive through one way and zip back out on the other side, and then everybody will be deliriously happy, and we can move on with our lives. There you go. That's the thing that happened. Now then, let's pick a bit of road. Large street, loading bay. I like the looks of a load. It's at least appropriate to what we're doing. That, however, is just rubbish. All right, try it again, but better. I think we'll save these. These are all very attractive, right? I wanted to know that from the get-go. They're very lovely indeed. We'll save that for when I start doing some detailing on the street side of things. Right, if I run that in a straight line like this, then we can come off at a 90-degree angle like that, because the hope is going to be, as ever, that the AI picks up the baton of progress and gets to work on improving on that. I think I possibly could have made this main street type like that. Yeah, that's better. Apply. Now, I've no idea what the tracks are actually, the trucks are going to do on here. So this is Grand Junction, which it had already written, I just deleted. Junction, goods, I'm avoiding the word distribution. I'm looking for something slightly more entertaining, because I use distribution on a regular basis. Goods enabling. There we go, to enable the goods in the town here. All of these pathways it's got running through there terrify me, but we'll remain calm and hope it pans out for the best. And then we want to stick our second one over here somewhere. And what I was looking for, before I got sidetracked in trying to put down an implausible new depot there, was some kind of drop it on the street type deal, truck stop. Oh, I think we might do here. A long truck unloading zone. You say long? I mean, how long? You know what? I'm going for it. Here we go. These appear to be dedicated towards the unloading of goods on the surface streets. I'm allowing it. We're rolling with it. I am finally getting with that program, and all of you may now rejoice that the sacreditude with which I studiously avoided doing such things has now been something or other. I'm just wording here. Right, okay, now, you might go, well, why have you just placed 3 of those? That doesn't make any ruddy sense at all, man. You've clearly lost your mind. To which I say, well, yes, probably, but also, let's go with the horrible turquoise we didn't like before. So, pick up, number 1, and drop off, and back to home base. That's not the DIY retailer for those of you in the UK. Now, this is going to be overkill significantly, and it will cost me some money in the process. But it will also enable me to drop off to different areas of the town, which should give me a little bit better coverage. Will it work? No idea. We're going to find out. So, Grand Junction, which I think will be G-Jung. Or do we do G-Gajukt? That looks good to me. Goods distribution. Buch on. Distribution. Close. There you go. Have a cigar. Right, now then. Now that that's done, and that's done, let's put some signals on there. We're going to stick with semaphores for now, and then we'll think. While we're still running steam, we'll stick with semaphores. When we up the tempo and start to go a little bit more, modern, we'll do something else. So what I'm thinking is the train will come down here. So we've got effectively designated back and forth lines across this bridge, which will work fine until I stick more trains on it. And then once you come down here, we're going to go up to there. A bit of signal action. That's lovely. And then we'll put a bit of signal action there as well. We'll bring you in some. There you go. Yeah, that feels promising. And then we'll stick one there as well. That should just about do it, I reckon. Will it though? You've got another signal here. Well, providing the trains aren't too long, that shouldn't be an issue. We will figure it out as we go. We'll soon work out whether I've made a catastrophic mess of everything there or not. So let's set that line up as well. Let's set the everything back in motion, or I'm not going to be able to afford to put a train on here in the first place. And then you can be orange for the sake of this particular experience. And we're going to go Grand Junction Goods Enabling. Oh, that's a good name. And then we're going to take you to one of these. I don't know which one. Have we got an open one at the moment? It's probably going to be this half rather than the deep end, but it really depends on where we've got an available platform. Now we appear to have available platforms over there. Look, or an available platform at least. Okay, yeah, that could work. I suppose that could work. Have we got a route in there? Yes, we have. That will work as well. Okay, go over here. Oh, it's even chosen it, look. Oh, that's pretty wonderful of it. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. And obviously I'll see a problem with that if there happens to be a problem later on. Now then, do I want to run it up this side? Because at the moment, it's only Jolly Green that is getting to use this side of things. Oh, okay, Pink's using it as well. Yeah, I think that'll be alright. we still need some to work on signalling and priorities and all of that kind of jazz over here. But that can hang on until disaster actually strikes. Why not? So G jukt goods bulk. Marvelous. Right now then, Grand Junction. That's American. I'm going to need it. Going to need me an American train. And then that'll be grand to go to Grand Junction. Because the aim here is, of course, that we put something in place that will help us achieve the goal of... There's no wonder this doesn't work. This is a track that doesn't actually do anything. Right? So nothing links onto it, and it doesn't do anything in the first place. It's no ruddy wonder that this has never paid off properly. Right, let's put a bit of 20 kilometre an hour. It needs to talk to number 3 in the best of all possible situations, because at the moment nothing talks to number 3. Number 3 has no friends, and everything needs to come over onto the end zone here, with options to hop off at other points if it gets the opportunity. Right, let's do a quick re-engineer of all of this lot, because that's not a particularly complicated fix, but it's one that you are actually going to want to make sure you've actually done. Right, get over onto this end track. That way we will have maximum opportunities to go wherever the heck we like. Right, now then, let's go from... Yeah, let's not hang around. Go as quickly as you want. Will you go across all of these? Arguably no. Well, not arguably, just no. Right, how about you jump as far as there? Okay. Now, obviously, because it's a depot, I just don't care that that the speed is less than walking pace. That's perfectly acceptable. Now then, it would have been good if I could have got further across than that, but I got the very real sense that the track management team there had no intention of allowing me to do so. Let's try that again. There you go. That's got us over onto number 2. What about number 1? I don't think we can get over there, you know. Alright, well, what about if we went as far as here? Yes. No chance. There is no way you're going to make a little bridging doodah that goes between those. I'll allow you to do that anyway, just so that we've done it. But there you go. That's kind of what you're asking for, isn't it? Not going to happen. All right, we're just going to have to remember that if we want to go up the track that way, that we're going to need to use depot number 2. Yeah, all of that turned on. And then, in theory, that should just happen. Right, let's pick a train. I'm even going to go out. I'm going to go out of depot number 2. Why have I only got 6 million? Because it's just past the end of the month. Well, that would do it. All right, well, no matter. We can at least buy the locomotive. That'll be a start. Right, now then. Something bold and beautiful and American. Do we feel like the Mikado is once again our Huckleberry, or this Union Pacific that is incredibly expensive? Now, it's pretty quick and it's incredibly powerful, which would mean that I could put a heavy load on here and it would probably work out just fine. But the challenge is going to be getting enough cargo to want to go up there in the first place to make it worth my while. The Mikado, on the other hand, is a third the cost, a little bit faster. It doesn't pull quite as much, but we're going to get a lot more bang for buck. I think we start with the Mikado and then see if we get the interest required to up the tempo to something a little bit more aggressive. I know I overuse the Mikado, but it was a very popular train. I'll use the Canadian one. There you go. That'll make everybody cheerful. Right, we're going to go with Mr. Naffy and his car, and we will sling. What do we think? 200-ish would be good. We're obviously not going to get that far, though. What has that got us up to? 110. Keep burning the money. 154. 165. One more, 2 more, maybe. No, not enough money. Keep it coming. Come on. Somebody else arrive. Bring me all of your dosh. Actually, no, you know what? 165 is going to have to do it for now, because I've still got to buy some trucks and what have you. Off you go. Grand Junction, please. Please don't take the scenic route. Please take the route that makes a little bit more sense. And let's have a look. Waiting for a free path. Could mean anything. If I stick a signal on there, it'll at least get out of the depot. Right, let's put a signal on there so it can at least get out of the depot. I mean, you're going to be putting a signal here, effectively, and blocking absolutely everything. Alright, well, in that case, put one over here. There we are. No excuses now, Mickey. Come on. There is work to be done. Right, magic. Now, I also need to hook up a very quick log line over that way. There we go. We'll put it like that. Close this down. Soak in the view. We don't often do the view from this angle, do we? That's pretty terrific. It is pretty terrific. Okay, right, now then, that's going to take ages to get where it's going, but at least it is now abiding by the very simple solution that we've just created. So there we go, that's off and running. I don't think I've got enough cars on there to make it work, but it doesn't really, well, it does matter, but it doesn't really make much difference right now. So as we get up towards Grand Junction, what we're going to also want to do is pull in some lumber from over here if this this forestry commission decides to ship in that way. Now we are pulling in lumber from other places, but the you know, there is such a thing as not having too much of a. There's not enough of a good thing. There you go. That's perfectly eloquent right there. And I haven't even got 22 grand to build a little bit of road. Please hold. Come on, 22k. You can make that work. Go on. God, I believe in you. Anytime you like. Let's up the tempo. There we go. Then the cash will turn up. You know what else I could do? I could just take a loan for a little while. Right, there we go. Put that on there. Also, put some trucks on your truck route. That makes a big difference. We've done, I think I might have even done like a tutorial on such things. I know. Me. Right, let's just put a regular truck station on here. Right, you there, off you go. Now, you from this here, yes, that Grand Junction logging. G-juct with a T, thank you. Yes, logging. Right, good. Now, depot. I'll have one somewhat nearby, I would assume, because I've put other things on the road here. Or have I? No, there isn't even a bus route here. Oh wow, we really are in the land of the neglected. Okay, well we'll build one now. And maybe if Grand Junction proves itself, we shall treat it later on to a bus route, or maybe even a tram. Who knows? Right, now then, logging first. Something American. It's going to be the Mac. We'll go with 3. That ought to do it. Set line, Grand Junction logging. There you go. And then we'll buy another 5, which is way more than we need, and we'll put that on distribution. There we are. Everything is now rock and roll, and it's now just the endless waiting game to see if this actually works out or not. If it does work out, then so much the better. So as you can see, we do the same thing already up here in Vancouver, where we're processing the logs. So if this ends up panning out, we will be shipping logs from here all the way down to the hub, and then all the way back up to Vancouver. It's incredibly efficient, and I like to think very environmentally friendly. Yeah. Now then. Yeah, the next thing that we're thinking of, we'll go and look at some of today's purchases in a moment, but The next area for consideration is what the next goods type is actually going to be. And I know I've ummed and ahed about this previously. The question is, what's it going to be? We've got iron ore there and there. We need a steel mill. We need a steel mill. I think I worked this out previously. There's a good steel mill just outside Brussels. There's another good steel mill just outside Brussels. Brussels can't move for it. The Brussels Steelers, that could do the job. Then, of course, once you've got that, we can sling the slag into our construction materials site down there, and then the steel we'll use to make goods, which would be the other side of Brussels. I think would probably make the most sense. Although more steel out towards some tool making, machine making kind of an idea, that could work. What's the actual recipe there? Double wood and steel makes you some machines. That could work. There are many options. There you go. That's the catch-all that we're going to apply on that front. Anyway, that is going to wrap us up for today. Let's go and find something particularly scenic that we can keep an eye on. Have you only just made it out of there? You have, haven't you? I was really hoping you'd gone a little further than that, you know. But that's okay. Don't worry. I'm not gonna punish you. Let's put a signal on there so that whoever comes out next doesn't have to wait forever. Right, there we go. I've been Colonel Failure. Next time we'll start out by evaluating how our new riders are getting on, and we'll crack on from there. I don't know whether I'm going to go for another goods type, or whether we shall pursue another destination for goods first. I hadn't meant to click off there. I'd chosen an angle I thought was quite nice. There you go. That's also quite nice. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Chuck a comment or two. Only one is really mandatory, but two makes you just, you know, sublime. And if you want to get involved in the napkin challenge, you either know what that's all about by now or you don't. But I'm going to keep doing it, so you know, you can either be star of that show or you can just be an onlooker. I will leave that one up to you. There is also the chance that this particular train never works, of course, because the frequency is too long, in which case I'll buy another one. I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you for watching. Sling a like at this one. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll catch up with you very soon. Cheerio.